Hi everybody, I am Maureen Hoock, and every time I come out here I feel like I'm coming back home because I have been a avowedly Marianist affiliate for a lot of years now. Spent a lot of time at this place. So we're going to talk about silence of the mind. I guess the silence of words, silence of imagination, and silence of word, signs, and imagination. Word, signs, and imagination have already been done. I'm doing mind, and then I guess next month Paul's going to do
silence of the
passions. Yeah. Okay. So there's 5 of them, and it's part of what's called the system of virtues that Father Chaminade had. He was the founder of the Marianist. This is a great little book about it. There are some extra copies down in the room formerly known as the library. There's a lot of formerly known as rooms in this place, apparently. But it's called Growing in the Virtues of Jesus. It's a short book. It's not a book you want to sit down and read in a weekend because there is so much in here, okay? So it's All Saints Day. Father Chaminade called us to be a spectacle of saints. I got the spectacle part down. Still working toward the saints thing. And the silences are the first 5 of his system of 13 virtues. They only get more complicated as you go on. And they get easier as you go on. It's all just sort of a mishmash, I think. But silence of the mind is that silence that there's 2 parts to it. One is you want to make sure that truth is what's going into your mind, because what goes in is what makes us who we are. You know, from the time a baby is conceived, because we know they can hear when they're in the womb, we start shaping them into who they are by what they hear. And at the same time, you want to make sure that what goes in is not the negative and the lies. Now, I don't know about you. I started doing this, I'm going to call it a lifestyle changer because it's a weight management thing, but it's a lifestyle thing. It's called Noom, and they do a lot of head stuff, a lot of psychology, the science behind food and why we eat, when we eat, and all of that stuff. And it's all done by psychologists, so it's all really good, solid stuff. But what I realized that they've been talking about for the last 2.5 months that I've been doing this are the silences. And, you know, so you step on the scale every morning. And when I step on the scale and the number goes down, I'm like, yes, I'm doing it. And I'm great, and I can do this. And then I do the same thing I'm doing every day. And I step on the scale and the numbers go up. And I'm like, son of a biscuit. And, you know, if I've done Weight Watchers once, I've done it 10 times. I've lost the same 20 pounds 10 different times. And so you start hearing those old tapes, right? You're never going to do this. You can't do this, you know. That silence of the mind. So it's shutting off the negative, which is what we think about when we think of silences, right? Don't say it, don't look like that, don't think it, don't imagine it, and don't feel it. But there's 2 sides to a coin. So we also have to take the other part. I was telling Paul earlier, silence of signs. You know, you don't want to cast that look of death that as a mom I've cast so many times. But at the same time, I think about how many times I've driven by an unhomed person standing on a street corner or at a highway exit and not looked at them. Now, I haven't done that in a very long time because I learned a long time ago the importance of looking, of smiling, of waving, of saying hello. Because you at least validate that person as a person. So it's the same thing with silence of the mind. We all have those tapes. You know the tapes I'm talking about. And hopefully most of us by this point know that most of what those tapes say is not true. When we sang that song that the chorus over and over again says, I'm a child of God, yes I am. Kay, I couldn't help but think of your mom, because for most of my adult life that I knew Betty Chipwood, Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I never got over calling her Betty. She would always end every conversation pretty much the way she started it was, remember who you are, a child of God. And I think about how important and how healing that is going into our brains. When you think about being at church and the truths that we hear, the songs that we sing, it's why I keep Joy FM on my radio when I'm driving. Because you see some people who, I see some people who I wish would drive differently than they do. My way around that is I now keep a red and a yellow soccer penalty card in my car, and I just flash it out the window at them. You get a red card, you get a yellow card.
Do you really?
On Scouts Honor. They're right up in my visor. If you would like a set, I have extra ones. But I don't say or do bad things anymore, because I just flash the card, I smile. If they're being honest, they know exactly why they got the red or the yellow card, and they nod and smile back. Sometimes they just wave with one finger, but I still take it as a wave. So like I said, these silences, they're such a gift, because they help us remember the importance of what goes in being good and being validating to us and supporting us, but the other side of the coin as well, always two sides to the coin. And so, silence of words is what it is, words. Silence of signs are the faces that we make, the body language, all of that. Silence of the imagination is those dreams that we have, the good ones and the other ones. And silence of the mind is those tapes, those messages, everything that goes into our head.